Welcome to the Athletes in Motion podcast, From Race to Recovery, with your hosts, Tom Riegel and Kenny Bailey.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
I'm great, Kenny. How are you today?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking.
Outstanding. Well, this is it. This is our last show for 2021.
Yeah.
We've had a great year.
Yeah.
Some amazing guests. So we're doing a little wrap up today. We wanted to talk about, of course, the past year, what we've got coming up for next year, our personal races and all that stuff, and then what we want to do for the podcast next year, because we want to have some more fun with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 15 episodes this year, which
Pretty good.
is we're pretty excited about, and every one of those episodes were just a neat conversation to learn about the person, learn about sort of what it's like for people to go through their journey, how they kind of embrace challenges, how they embrace victory, how they kind of lived their journey. It's a neat conversation to have with them.
Yeah, and I think I'm very proud of what we put together. It's been a learning curve for sure, but I think we covered a lot of topics and subjects and people that was just not one line. And that broad scope, I think, gave us a lot to work from and to learn from. I learned a ton from all of our guests. We had some amazing guests on this
Yeah,
one.
and it to your point, it crossed a variety of things, right? We've had professional athletes, we've had people that have had high accolades, we've had Olympic swimmers, pro bodybuilders, we've had people that are accomplished, but we've also had people on the show that are accomplished in their own way, right? Their journey's just as important and just as fun and just as great to listen to and to learn from. So that's exciting too. I think you're right. Having that ability to be able to talk to a wide variety of people on topics there's certain topics I didn't know a whole lot about.
Oh yeah,
a lot of topics I don't know about.
Totally
and it's kind of
surprised.
fun.
Yeah. What were we loved all of them, so we're not going to go down specific favorites. But what were some of the things that you learned? What was something that popped out?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I'll mention a couple of them by name just as an example, but the one that kind of stuck out a little bit for me, I think a couple of them, or the theme is this sort of going and trying to achieve a goal, getting that setback. What are you going to do? How do you react to that? Keontae Davis playing football, right? Here he is, high school athlete, one of the best in the nation, blows a knee out. Everything's gone now, right?
Yeah.
All the scholarships are gone. What does he do? He gets back in, goes to college, rebuilds himself, gets to the pinnacle of college, another injury. Is that it? No. Goes to the professional, be able to win a Super Bowl.
Still makes it to the professional levels.
Still makes it to the professional levels, at the highest level.
Yeah.
That journey is kind of a theme of what we've heard from folks.
Yeah.
Jarrell Webb is same way, but in just
The
a different way.
tenacity. Yeah.
That tenacity of going, trying to make it into the league, can't quite get there, but then turns around and has an incredibly successful career as a trainer, as a coach, as a motivational person. That drive of, look, I know it's a setback, but we're moving forward. I think it's great.
And listening back on some of these episodes as I've edited through them and gotten them all set up, I still listen to Jarrell's, and we got so excited during that. He had us totally pumped and jazzed that whole episode. We were like, the levels on the recording were off the chart.
Yeah, it's just like the guy's a walking, he's a walking poster of motivational.
Just being in the room with him just gave you that burst of, hey, this is awesome. Yeah. Things are great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good.
it helped me personally. I mean, I went back and I was thinking about that. I was training for an Ironman this year, and I had places where I just was feeling not there, and I just remember him going, hey man, the journey is the thing. It's not necessarily the end point. I think Ryan Reed was ridiculous in the fact that here's a woman that's I couldn't the ability for somebody to know that they're getting a degenerative disease, that it's going to take that function away, and be able to say, you know what, I'm going to do something different and become top of their game. Those are stories I like to hear. Those are stories that we're blessed to be able to talk to these people, to just hear how they've done that. And hopefully you folks have
got that same
Yeah.
got that same motivation off it.
Yeah.
Ryan's story, I was so glad she was able to join us and be on there, because that whole, and I said it in the episode itself, that opened my eyes to challenged athletes and what they need to go through, the just the daily life.
Yeah.
And then trying to get to a race is just insane. So I was super happy that she was able to join us on that one.
Yeah, and I think other ones that kind of popped out, to your point, there's challenge athletes, being able to understand and walk them on, but to be able to be in their place and try to understand sort of where they're coming from. The other one that really that got to me was Christy Beth's story about complete ignorance on my part, because I don't need to worry about it. I'm a fairly good sized man, but the fact that women are harassed repeatedly and often when they're just trying to do a run, to me, I kind of knew it. I kind of knew it was out there, but having that really front and center and learning about that was was eye opening, and it's both depressing and inspirational at the same time. Depressing that actually has to happen, and inspirational that there's people out there trying to make it better. That one really hit home for me, just because my wife runs. You've got your wife runs. Majority of people that sign up for a half marathon are women now, and the fact that has to happen, that has to be another thing that they have to worry about, not just the physical. Hey, I have to train for something. They don't get that freedom, because there's a risk of that always right there.
Interesting story. I just thought of later that summer. So that episode was way back in May, I think it was. Back in August or September sometime, I was running through the neighborhood, doing my usual jog. It's a short run, nice quiet neighborhood. There's a runner at the next street. It tees off, and she's coming down the road. She sees me, waves, turns, and starts running towards me. Right? So she's coming towards me. In the meantime, in the background is a delivery truck, a big box truck kind of coming through. And she comes over and she goes, "I'm so sorry to bother your run." She goes, "But this truck drove by me and waved and was really waving at me, and then slowed down and stopped." And she just said, "Not today."
Not today.
She just said, "I'm so sorry, but can you?" And I said, "Let's just turn and walk."
Yeah.
You want to run together? I felt great that she felt safe with me.
Yeah.
I don't know her. I've never met her before. She lives in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But the fact that happened and she snapped to that right away, that this box truck said hi, slowed down right in front of her. It turns out they were making a delivery to that house.
Yeah. But
still,
that's there.
The first thing that went through her mind, and that was all I kept thinking back was to Christy Beth and what she was talking about. And our conversation there was like, I'm like, wow, this is big.
Yeah, and the more we can get it out there, the more we can talk about it, the more we can hopefully make it safe for everybody. But
find ways. What can we do?
And just increase.
We're still working on that.
And increase your sensitivity, increase your awareness as like people like men that we need to make sure that we. I admit I run angry, right? I run, like leave me alone. But I never really thought about, if I'm on a trail, how does that look? The other way. I mean, I just don't want people talking to me because I'm trying to get my workout in. But at the same time, I could be exuding a false narrative that may make people turn around. So being more sensitive to how others are, I think, I think that's we're really blessed to be able to have that kind of conversation with people.
Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
Definitely. I'm trying to think. There was so many. I mean, I was super glad to have our swimming trio on. Coach Stewart's just been a game changer for me, and I think I'm hopefully paying that forward by helping other people get into that same boat with the swimming, because it was just horrible for me. And I miss those guys back in California. It's just because swimming with them was inspirational in that level. I mean, just watching them, and they were so friendly and so helpful. It was really a team atmosphere that I learned a lot from. So I'm glad we were able to share their story and come off with that as well, because they're just fun people.
Yeah,
they really are good people.
That's neat. I really enjoyed listening to them too. I mean, just jealous of their ability would be
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
way to say it.
Yeah.
Oh, someday.
We keep making improvements, and that was one thing that Coach Stu's always put in our heads, and that's
Yeah.
the thing I try to play forward on that sense is that we're never finished,
Yeah.
right? I've always looked at myself as a work in progress, athletically,
Yeah.
personally, any of that stuff. So any slight improvements I can make, I'm not looking to hit it out of the park right
Yeah.
away. I'm trying to do a lifetime. Hopefully it's a longer lifetime, and that I can just slowly get better at things, back to the safety issue and awareness and dealing with people and all of that other things. Just keep improving on those types of things.
And just, keep moving, right?
Yes.
Or challenge yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things that was interesting in our first episode with Copernicus, right? Here's
Oh,
a
yeah.
bodybuilder
Yeah.
that thought he'd just go run a marathon like you do, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here's a person that's in their comfort zone,
yeah,
decide to say, look, I'm going to be completely outside of my comfort zone, and I'm going to go try something that I, technically shouldn't be doing. I'm a bodybuilder. I shouldn't be running long distances,
Yeah,
but he
yeah.
did it anyway, and I think he grew and learned from it, where he didn't extend his existing sort of
yep.
ability, but he decided to challenge something completely new.
Yeah, and it made him a better trainer from that.
It made him a better
learned
trainer,
a
yeah.
whole ton from that. So
Yeah.
each experience that we throw at ourselves is how we grow.
Yeah.
We throw that stress out there, and then we grow from that.
Yeah,
So,
and Danny Dyer's
Danny's
episode
oh yeah,
was
yeah.
great, right?
Another, another one. That,
You're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be thin, you're supposed to be,
yeah,
this is what you're supposed to do. And,
Be you.
Yeah, and then she finds out she's got power.
Yeah.
Literally, both mental and physical
and
power.
physical power.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the last episode we had with Abby, I think
Runaway,
kind of
yeah.
encapsulated it, right? Here's a
Yeah.
person that's not, doesn't have Olympic ribbons, isn't a pro athlete. She's just someone trying to, like you said, wake up every day and do better. And she decided to do better. Encapsulates everything.
Yeah.
Felt like, she was at a position where she didn't like herself. Took a risk in trying to publicly say, here's who I am and here's what I'm going to do, and then went after that target. And if you keep up with her today, she's continuing to
Nice,
work and
impressive.
improve, and she looks fantastic. She's
Yeah.
and looks vital. Has more vitality, I
Yeah.
guess would be the best way to say it. Not
Yeah, yeah.
just hey, I look good, but you can tell that she feels good, that she's
Yeah.
enjoying herself a lot more. So
And
those
I
are
hope
great
that's
episodes.
I hope that's something that everyone takes away from this is that we always talk about don't be afraid of failure. Or don't be afraid to fail. I don't think there is a failure type of thing unless you haven't learned anything from that.
Yeah.
It's an experience, and you learn from the experience whether or not it has the outcome that people want.
Yeah.
Success comes in many different forms, but I think that's one of those things that I think all our guests have talked about where they stepped out of the comfort zone. They went on a challenge, and maybe it didn't happen the way they wanted it to, but they ended up in a better place.
Yeah.
They took the direction that it went, they learned from it, and they moved on, and they grew from that. And I think that's huge. I hope that's what everybody gets out of this as well,
Yeah.
because that's what we always
Yeah.
talk about off the podcast, where
Yeah.
we're just in general just trying to do that. That was I think the whole impetus for doing this podcast was to bring these people out and find these stories, these inspirational stories, and just learn from that.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear a lot of times people that are uncomfortable going to a gym because they don't want to look stupid, or they don't want to do this. And with any luck, I mean, one of the things you need to do is be okay with, hey, if I'm walking a 5K and that's what I need to do that you got up, you showed up, you did it.
did it.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
at the time. It doesn't matter that you walked it. You did it.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping people get from this, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing.
Move
So,
your body. Just move.
Yep.
Get up, move. It helps you mentally. It helps you physically. It's all
Yep.
that good stuff.
So speaking of which,
Yeah.
2022, what are you
2022.
doing to get up and move? And
Oh.
you have to declare it now.
I have to. Oh
So,
no! This is
Once you
gonna be
declare
scary.
publicly, you got to do it.
Yeah,
so.
I haven't registered for anything yet. The two races I wanted to do the Chattanooga, both the 70.3 and the Ironman. I have other events going on, not like family events. I am crewing for Chris Calamano at the Epic Deca race. That's 2 weeks in 2 weeks in May. That's what kills off the first the first Chattanooga race, and
Okay.
that's 10 Ironmans in 10 days on 6 islands in Hawaii. So we'll probably have a whole podcast just on that. We'll have Chris
hold
on
on,
afterwards.
So 10 Ironmans in 10 days on 6 different islands.
Yeah. So Epic 5 is the race that was 5 islands, 5 days, 5 Ironmans. And because it was the 10-year anniversary, I think 2 years ago now, and it's been canceled the last 2 years, they have 10 athletes. I believe it's 10 athletes doing 10 Ironmans in 10 days on 6 islands. The logistics are a nightmare. So I'm crewing for Chris on that. So that's going to take a good portion of my spring through till May, and then I might take weeks to recover from that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Alone the lack of sleep and everything else. After that, I've kind of had some running races kind of thrown out there. I don't know if I want to say it just yet. I might. There is a Hundy in there that I have
100-mile race.
100-mile race.
That's what he means by Hundy.
Yeah, coming up. So there'll be one of those on the schedule, I believe, unless I get boxed out of it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to find some smaller races and some other things, but I really want to focus on the run. Maybe I can get back and do the Alcatraz swim or something with the swimmers. Would be fun to do. A 10K swim would be fun to work on. So focusing on swimming and running, especially running next year is going to be big for me.
Good.
So, and you, what do we got going?
It's a good question. So maybe some of you heard, some of you haven't. I spent 11 months training for Ironman California in October in Sacramento, where 220 days out of the year it's beautiful, except for the one day that Ironman went on. 3,000 people showed up, and so did a bomb cyclone.
Yeah.
So apparently that's the West Coast version of a Cat 3 hurricane. Basically dumped more rain in 24 hours than it did in recorded history in Sacramento on the day of the race, not the day before.
The morning of the race, yeah.
So here I am getting my wetsuit on. They canceled the race. So, I had beer at 9:30 in the morning. Because of that, we got deferred to 2022. So I've officially signed up for Ironman California 2022 in October. Start training in end of January, early February for that. So another long, arduous, training session, and that's kind of my A race.
Yeah.
I think my B race is I do need. I have been wanting to do the 70.3 Chattanooga as well. I want to do that just because of 2 reasons. One, it's in my backyard. I haven't had an opportunity to do it yet. And secondly, it's a good prep for California. California is a river swim. Chattanooga is a river swim as well. It gives me an opportunity to feel current, if you will. Yeah. And then the other one I think I'm going to declare is I've never ran a sub-4 marathon. Most of my marathons are after getting off 112 miles on a bike. So
I like that warm up.
And I had one marathon I think I did a 420, and it was like the first, I think that year my wife did a half marathon. I was mad she did it and I didn't because I was a cyclist. I wasn't a runner. So I did a half marathon, and I thought, well, I might as well just do the marathon since I'm doing it. So I ramped from basically couch to marathon that year. My Achilles was not happy, so when I got done, I was crying on the corner, and it was an ugly finish. So what I want is a sub 4 hour marathon. I want that to be something where I'm not crying at the end. Yeah. I'm celebrating rather than dying.
Strong.
Yeah.
So
good. Trying out a new coach. I'm going to give him a try for 2022. See if he's any good. Tom, you better be good. But like
we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, and like you, we're same thing. I'm focusing. The swim is my weakest link. I want to make sure that becomes one of my strongest links, and then the run. I'm good on a bike. I'm not gonna.
You were solid on the bike. You were much better on the swim. You made huge gains last year.
Absolutely.
Working with you was fun.
Yeah,
it was fantastic to watch that. So
every year what ends up happening is it's like I take a stupid pill at the end of the year, forget how to swim, start again in January. So with any luck, carry that through and start doing that. So I think 2022 is going to be fun. I think it's a hopefully, like knock on wood, hopefully the world kind of continues to heal and get better, that we can have races and get people out there. And I think the funniest, I just have to say this, the funniest thing about 2021, every race that I've signed up for, it was rain. It was just an insane 2021. So
we're talking about the bell ringer?
Yeah, so I had a bomb cyclone hit in Sacramento. Turkey trot rained like a dog right when we got done.
Yeah.
And then you and I were supposed to do the bell ringer.
Bell ringer 15K.
Tornado lands in Dixon that morning.
Yeah.
and we had a tornado warning.
They still had the race.
Still
Let's
had
say.
the
I know
race.
some people who did it, and congrats on you. But the drive out there was just a little too scary
Yeah.
for me. At 3 a.m., we're texting back and forth because
Yeah.
we got not the tornado watch, the tornado warning, which means
yes.
it's imminent, right? And there
so-
was a few, as you know, the big one through Oklahoma was
Yeah.
horrific.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some in our areas as well, and that was enough for us to go, yep, no, not doing
So
it.
I don't know what I've did wrong or what I
Hopefully
need to
next
like
year's better.
get a voodoo doll and stab, but I don't know what I need to like sacrifice in order to not have 2022
Seriously.
be rain every time I show up to an event.
and-
So
well, rain would be fine.
yeah,
Torrential,
storms. Yeah.
massive.
So for anybody
Storms.
out there signing up for 2022, don't do what I don't sign up for
We'll
my
put a
races.
list out of
Apparently,
his.
exactly.
We'll put a list out of his
to
races
avoid because
Yeah,
apparently
just don't bother.
with any luck we're gonna squash that demon for next year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, that'll be fun. And then of course we've got our own businesses that are running, and
Mm-hmm.
we've got lots going on with that. And then the podcast.
Yeah.
So we want to continue doing this. We want to make some changes. We have been kind of quiet about it, but we've gotten them all up on YouTube. Mainly because only the last 4 or 5 have been video. This one being our 6th one, that's video. And it's been a learning curve for us on that side. We really wanted to get the audio side, and that's kind of the easiest thing to do. I have an audio background. The video side jumped in when we got into the Zoom calls, when we started talking with people that weren't local, and that came out, I think, really well. So I'm pretty excited about that. So the production value on that's going to go up. You can go see them all now. They're all up there now. You can listen to the ones, and you can see the ones with video. Also going to add a better webpage. So one of the things I've learned from this is that we can communicate with everyone out there, but not as well as I would like.
Yeah.
It's not as quick. It's not the community that I was hoping for.
Sure.
So a couple things that I'm working on for this, since I'm doing kind of the production side and the
There you go.
background of this, is a new webpage. It'll be simple, but it'll have more photos of what we're doing with our guests and everything like that. And we'll also have a Facebook page and Instagram page that are that'll be for the Athletes in Motion. So you'll see that, and that'll allow us to engage a little bit quicker and easier. Plus, we want to get some more photos up and things. I mean, there's more to just the show.
Yeah.
And I want to share some of that stuff. I'd like to say outtakes and things like that, but
Sure.
we keep all that in the show because.
sure. Should we start eating hot wings too?
Yeah,
while
yeah,
we're-
we can start doing
I
that.
heard
Maybe
that.
we'll do
That's
Is
popular.
that one? Maybe we'll do a hot wing show right after a race. Nah.
Sorry, I don't know if we're going to get a copyright violation on that one.
Yeah. So that's a couple of things coming up
Very cool.
on the technical side that we're going to do on the production, and some more guests.
Yeah, and your suggestions on what you want to see and what you want to do, we're very much open to suggestions.
Yep.
Let us know if. Yeah, we'd love to see more behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, we'd like to see these types of interviews or what genres you like us to cover.
We're trying to cover a broad range of things, and we have some subject matter, some things that we want to do, and we've reached out to some people, and we're trying to line those up. But if you have other suggestions and things that we haven't thought of that you'd be interested in,
Let us know.
just as much, let us know, and we'll look into it and check it out, and see what we can do. So,
Yeah, heck of a year,
awesome.
Tom.
It's been good. It's been a pleasure, Kenny. We're really enjoying this.
It has been fun.
Yeah.
Learning from you, learning from everybody else. Let's continue to do that for 2022 and
likewise.
grow from there.
And likewise. So thank you everybody for listening. We've covered quite a lot of countries out there because we can kind of see some of the broad range of things from India to Germany to England to I can't remember some of the others, but it was quite a range, and we really appreciate everybody. Excuse me.
Wow, you got
thank you so much.
broken up over that whole thing.
Yeah, I'm a little emotional now. Oh, this is amazing. But thank you all. We really appreciate you listening. Share it with your friends. Give us the likes, the thumbs up, the whatever it is that we need to do, because that really helps us bump up in the algorithms. I keep saying that every time. That's my tagline, right? But that allows other people to actually find it out there. That's kind of the game that we have to play with this.
Sure.
So we appreciate all that feedback and all that good stuff. Kenny, it's been great.
It's been great.
Thank you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Happy
see.
New Year.